Hi everybody, I've put a few dozen hours into my new gaming PC, so it's time to attempt to do a review of my Lenovo Legion T5 pre-built PC. The thing is, this is going to be a bit of an unusual review, and I don't know how useful it will be to others, as this is the first gaming PC I've ever had. Seriously, my first computer was a early 80s Apple II clone. Then I had a Pentium 60 many years later, followed by a Pentium 90, but they weren't gaming PCs. I've had lightweight laptops for word processing and surfing the web and the like, but never anything this powerful. The closest I got recently was with my Shadow Cloud gaming PC, an internet-based service where you remote into a system that's on a rack in a server farm, but even then I was still going in through my old laptop, and although the Shadow Cloud gaming PC is a great solution, it's not that practical in terms of lag, latency and sheer power. When it comes to gaming, I've really only used consoles, the SNES, the N64, PlayStation 2, Xbox 360, Xbox One, PlayStation 4 and my latest, the Xbox Series S. So, what I'm going to do in this review is talk about why I want a gaming PC and what I need it to do. Then I'll cover why I chose the T5 and then how I think this PC has fulfilled those needs or not. So perhaps it will help someone in a similar situation decide if this Lenovo will be a good choice for them. So, my reasons for wanting a powerful PC are a little unusual. As you've probably guessed, I think that console gaming is great, and that the ability to simply hit a switch on your Xbox or your PlayStation and then kick back in a comfy chair using a controller to enjoy your favourite games is one of the best ways to enjoy video games. I don't think that sitting in front of a desk, tapping away at a keyboard and using a mouse is the best way to enjoy those games. However, I do have this gaming channel and I'm doing my best to grow the channel, and to do that I need to speed up certain aspects of content creation and also to be able to do certain things that I couldn't do before, and this is where a powerful PC, in this case a gaming rig, could come in useful. So, my reasons for wanting to get a gaming PC are that I want to be able to render edited videos much faster than I can at the moment. I want to be able to create live, one and done videos of gameplay from my Xbox, where I record the gameplay and audio at the same time. I want to be and to create live, one and done videos from my PC gameplay again, where I record the gameplay and video at the same time. I want to be able to play PC games where I can actually use the local proximity chat and therefore can also record that gameplay where I'm using proximity, local or party chat. So now you know some of my needs. Why the Lenovo Legion T5 and why in its RTX 3070 Ryzen 7 16GB of RAM configuration? Well, that's a lot easier to answer. I had a budget of about £1,000 and I wanted a PC that could make the most out of my gaming monitor, which I've already had for about a year, which I use with my Xbox Series S. And that has a maximum output resolution of 1440p at 144Hz or 144 frames a second. So that's what any potential PC would really have to be able to output when playing my favourite games, things like Dayz and Pubg. Looking through the various YouTube reviews and websites that covered what graphics cards you would need to run games at 1440p, 144Hz, I quickly learned that I probably didn't have the budget. The pre-built PCs I was looking at, that were from about £1,000 to £1,300, tended to come with RTX 3060s or 3060 Ti's, which were great for 1080p at high frame rates and 1440p at lower frame rates or lower quality seconds, but that wasn't their strong point. I was also coming across lots of reviews that were a little disparaging of pre-built PCs, including some of the Acers I was interested in, saying that a lot of the pre-builts had too many compromises, especially when it came to the design of the build and things like cooling. So, I was feeling a little despondent until I came across the T5, which had the RTX 3070, had the AMD Ryzen 7, 16GB of RAM, and on Curry's website, which is a seller in the UK, it was £1,150 including VAT. I knew that Lenovo had taken over from IBM a few years ago, and I remember seeing some YouTube videos actually praising the quality of Lenovo pre-builds. The specification of the T5 overall was really good for the price. The RTX 3070 was more powerful than the 3060 and the 3060 Ti, and more capable of having a chance of reaching the 1440p 144Hz or 144 frames per second I was hoping for. And this card was simply not available on any other PC that I had seen at this price point. I couldn't comment on the AMD Ryzen 7 CPU, apart from the fact that when I did a Google search for it, is the Ryzen 7 any good? I got positive results back. 16 gigabytes of RAM on, I think, 8 gigabytes thick was good, but the icing on the cake had to be the storage. It's got a 1TB SSD backed up by a 2TB standard hard drive, again, more than any other PCs I could find in my price range. I did some Googling, asked a few friends, and the answers came back that at this price, a pre-built with that specification, especially with the RTX 3070, was a bit of a bargain and ahead of other PCs I've been looking at. So I took a deep breath and ordered the T5 off Curry's website. I picked up my new PC the next day, along with the new HyperX keyboard from Amazon, then took it home and excitedly unpacked it and plugged it into my 27-inch HP monitor and my Steel Series mouse. As soon as I fired it up, I was very pleased with the look of the PC. You can change the colour and flashing mode of the case's LED lighting, and I never realised it would come with so many diff fans as well. I think there's 6, one in the front, one of the GPU, 2 at the back and 2 in the top. So overall, the feel and apparent build quality of the T5 impressed me. It felt solid and well put together. Next up, let's talk about games performance, because this is probably why you're here. Okay, so what I've come to realise is that anything above 100 frames per second at 1440p looks amazing, and anything over 60 frames per second at 1440p looks really, really good anyway. So you really don't need to chase 144Hz or 144 FPS, because it's incredibly difficult to see the difference, I think anyway, with my old eyes, between 100 frames a second and 140 frames a second. When it comes to actual games, my main title, Dayz, plays at well over 100 frames a second at 1440p at its highest settings for most of the time. The clarity and frame rate is so smooth that if I get my character to stand on one of the skyscrapers in Chernogorsk, then go into first person mode and look over the edge, I actually get a bit of vertigo, which, that's good enough for me. Now, Cyberpunk 2077 is an incredibly challenging game for any system to play at high frame rates on maximum settings, but I found that the game looks amazing and plays at well over 60 frames a second on ultra settings if you turn ray tracing off and set DLSS at balanced, which again, that's good enough for me. Pubg again plays at top settings at 1440p at well over 100 frames a second, and even Flight Simulator 2020 is amazing when you set it to high, achieving well over 60 frames a second at 1440p. And all of the less demanding games, they all look smooth as butter, and honestly, they're really stunning to watch. I addressed my earlier statement about console gaming being more fun than PC gaming by plugging in my Xbox controller, and I've been very impressed by the level of controller support in games. I've also been impressed by the sound quality I'm getting from my HyperX gaming headset that's plugged into the headset output of the PC. Using the included Geforce Experience software and OBS, I can now easily record one and done PC gameplay and audio at the same time, and I found my old Live Gamer Extreme capture card so that I can record gameplay from my Xbox Series S and add audio at the same time too. The powerful processor renders video much, much faster than my old laptop did, freeing up my time to make more content. Next, on the gameplay front, I can play or stream PC games and use the proximity or local party chat, and it works smoothly and seamlessly. So, the Lenovo T5 easily does all the tasks that I need it to do, and it's helping me increase my productivity when it comes to making videos for YouTube and streaming to Twitch too. Gameplay performance has been really, really good too, and I'm more than pleased with how the T5 plays my favourite titles. To sum things up, I am very pleased with my purchase of the Lenovo Legion T5 with the RTX 3070 and the Ryzen 7. I do not think I could have got a better spec PC at anywhere near this price, and the big 1TB SSD and 2TB hard drive means that I can install almost every PC game I own and have hundreds of gigabytes of storage left. So, would I recommend the T5? Absolutely, it's a great value PC with great performance, and I'm sure it'll be future-proof over the next several years. On a final note though, I think it's important that once you've made your choice and you've got your PC, and apart from doing some simple operating system software side tweaks like removing bloatware and restricting startup programs, that you get on with simply using and enjoying your new PC in the way that you would with a new console. Don't keep looking at performance videos about this or other PCs. Don't get obsessed with having the FPS counter on all the time and then spending too much time in games trying to set them up to eke out a few more frames per second or lose the occasional screen tear or frame drop. It's too easy to become distracted by the idea that with a better case or a fan or a heat sink or by overclocking a bit or some more memory that the PC will become appreciably better, when in fact what you've got is more than good enough. And that's the way I feel about the Lenovo T5. The Lenovo T5 is more than enough for all of my needs, and I'm incredibly glad I purchased it. Okay, so that's enough from me. Hopefully you've enjoyed the video. If you have, hit like. If you want to see more of the same, press subscribe. And I will, of course, see you again soon.